The cardinal sin of leaving your mic muted. Fantastic. Welcome, everyone, wherever you are watching this. Whether it's morning, afternoon, thank you for joining us, or whether you're watching on the recording, thank you so much. And the main reason we do these really is just so we get a chance to connect with our partners and anyone looking at SalesBuildr, anyone interested in the business and SalesBuildr as a product. And it's really your session. As I always say, it's your chance to ask any questions. So feel free, or first of all, get your comments in. So if you're watching us, put a little note in and let us know where you're watching from. We have a global audience, so it's always good to see where you are. We've got a bit of a structure forming for these now. There've been if you tuned in last week, I should say as well, my apologies, because we had an attempted live from DattoCon, and we kind of got there in the end, but it wasn't a smooth ride. So if you stuck with us, thank you. And if you came back again, thank you again. So yeah, bug it in the comments. Let us know where you are, and I'm going to bring in the team. We're going to run through some of the things that are new in the business. So this is kind of going to be the structure that's emerging. So we're going to have what's new in the company. So first of all, let's get the new product news out of the way. So if there's any new features to talk about, any new content, any new website bits that you might be interested in, hopefully just bringing you value all the time. So that is the plan, and we're going to kick that off. I'm going to welcome in the team. So I've got Victor and Ryan with me today. Guys, how are you doing? You managed, you're on mute. Let's get you off mute so you don't make the same mistake as me.
I just nearly did the exact same thing as you did.
It's all too easy. It's so easy, isn't it?
Frantically trying to message you on Slack saying, James, you're on mute. So
your lips are moving. Yeah. Thank you so much. We got there in the end. So we've got Ryan, head of marketing. How are you today? You okay?
Yeah, really good. It's a lovely sunny day in London. Too sunny to be sat indoors, but we're live streaming. So looking forward to getting some sunshine this evening.
Where better place to be. And Victor, how are you?
I'm doing good again. I was a bit tired after 4 days of Dublin from early mornings to late evenings, but the battery's recharging, which feels good.
Yeah, it was a good show, wasn't it? But they always take their toll, just being on constantly, thinking all the prep for the booth, then the booth time, then the after hours. It's quite relentless, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you have our nice little annual reunion with all the people that you know from the past colleagues, existing customers, and then you have all these new acquaintances, and explaining to all these people, hey, tell me what SalesBuildr does, and then after 50 times, and start battery. But it was good fun. Yeah, it was a good vibe. Lots of happy faces. It's always fun to do.
It is, isn't it? And, it felt great. I mean, obviously, we're slightly biased, but I really felt like there was some fantastic momentum at the show. People really excited to see where SalesBuildr is up to, the journey. Obviously, some people have been following right from the beginning. So, I think we've all left kind of tired but energized, if that's the combination that works.
Yeah, and it's also good to see that's sales and marketing is top of mind for all these MSPs. And you had this... one of the tracks was a track on M&A, right? And when you look at the mergers and acquisitions, one of the things that happens is that you get more emphasis on the sales process, because you need to go to the next gear when you're part of a bigger group. You get to step up your game and get more serious when it comes to sales performance. And so there's an uptick in interest, I feel, on, okay, how do we do this? What's the best practice here?
And if you're a group of companies, especially, then standardization is important, isn't it? Which is why we had a few good conversations with MSP groups.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Very good. So there's lots going on. Let's dive straight in, shall we? Let's have a look at what's new in the product in our What's New section. We've got these for everything now, you realize.
Good.
That's your cue.
So I just share my screen then. No,
yes, please. You can do it.
There you go. And Great. It works. So here are the release notes. And the release notes typically are sent inside SalesBuildr. And we also do email marketing. And what we do is we actually track, like we have this banner in SalesBuildr. And we say, here's the new release notes. Check them out. Let us know if you have any questions. And one of the challenges here is that only 15% of our users actually release the release notes. And that's understandable because people are busy, right? They're busy and cranking out those quotes or following up on customers. But I think it's important that we do our best to market that release notes and all the stuff that's in there. And this is one additional way to do it. So we look at the last release. 2 things I'm going to pick out there that I think are relevant for all customers, actually, especially ones on AutoTask, which is the post-sale tickets. And the idea is that once your customer approves a proposal, and that proposal contains products that you now need to provision, install, configure, and ship, and eventually invoice, you need to create a ticket for that, right? And those products need to flow to that ticket as charges. And that takes quite a bit of effort because you have to run inside AutoTask, you have to run the one opportunity wizard and go to 6 screens of clicking and configuring to make sure that ticket is created with all those relevant products. And we have managed to reduce that down to a simple click. And what we do is you can create a template inside SalesBuildr, and on that template you can configure defaults for priority and ticket category, all the stuff that you need to fill in on those tickets. And then SalesBuildr creates that ticket, adds the products from the quote as charges, and it creates a link to that ticket inside SalesBuildr. I'll show that later in detail when we go through the demo. And the other thing that's also relevant is creating contract renewals, which is part of the white space. And one of the things is that we now have a tile on the dashboard that shows you upcoming contract renewals in the next 3 months to give you a heads up and saying, hey, there's a couple of contracts that will expire in the next 90 days. You might want to check them out, and then go and create that renewal proposal to get another contract in place before the contract will expire.
How do you see that working? Some people have sort of other systems for monitoring some sort of renewals. Where do you see it sort of fitting in the process? Where is that most useful?
Well, I think it's part of the daily job as a salesperson to do a couple of things, right? And one of the things is, where do I need to engage today? And that's not only, engaging in customer conversations or letting them know that you have this new solution that will be a good fit for them. It's also doing business development and progressing your sales opportunities, but it's also doing that, making sure that retainment of existing customers, that they don't churn, and that you are proactive in making sure they're staying on board. So those are the 3 pillars, I would say, on a daily basis that you do as a salesperson, is making sure that your landscape of customers is in good shape and remains in good shape.
And that's not necessarily the case. Doesn't always have to be, oh, I've seen an opportunity, I need to straight away send out a quote. That might feed your next TBR, or you might group them together, and it's useful information to be feeding your, whatever your strategy is for your, however frequent you contact your accounts.
Yeah, exactly. That will differ per company, but it's just easy to do if you can just create that renewal proposal with a single click based on the old contract.
Fantastic, very good. Okay, so we've got it's quite a packed release, this one. Then, so did this go live today, Victor? Sorry, I should know this, but it was this today or was this last week?
This was last week, actually.
Last week, did go right?
Yeah. So
it was a bit of a blur last week, to be fair.
I think it's Monday, next Monday.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Anything else in the release we need to talk about? I know you normally get features and then also fixes, but it's just the features we'll focus on, I think, for this.
Yeah. Exactly. We got some items in progress. One of them is the making sure that this quote to ticket is a bit more advanced, and I'll also show that in the demo after, how the process works and what it does for you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Okay, so as this is the What's New section, I'll just let you know a little bit about some of the stuff that's been added in terms of content. So if you haven't already, I'd really love it if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're putting a great effort in to try and build this up. I've been doing some interviews around at shows and various different places. So there's some really good ones on there. And I've been going through and sort of just looking at some of the the snippets and stuff we can pull out from them. And there's so much gold in there. I mean, it just relies on the people I'm talking to, really. I'm just the monkey that kind of extracts it, but it's certainly there's loads in there, and I try and, if I can, try and keep it all so it's as actionable as possible, aimed at sort of medium-sized-ish MSPs and generally around the sort of sales topic. So this new piece is from Pelham Rowe. So he runs a big group of MSPs over here in the UK, and it has a real focus on the MSSP space, and has some interesting opinions around where to start automating and where the biggest gains are in terms of processes to automate. The other piece we have, this was from last week, so I've got this up pretty quickly. So this is Chris Tim. He's a specialist consultant from Sondela Consulting. So he's a PSA specialist, and he talks around some of the mistakes people make in terms of how to set up your PSA, sort of billing, that kind of stuff. So there's lots of gold in there. Robert Gibbons, so that's a brilliant one. I absolutely recommend you watch this one. So Rob has successfully used the white space methodology, shall we say, that idea of extracting the most revenue from your existing clients. He successfully implemented that in his previous company, and is now looking to do the same with his with the new company he's moved to, Abyss, and has been really successful in really driving up the revenue without necessarily relying on net new logos, through looking for opportunities. So we're obviously talking to him quite a lot because he's done all that on spreadsheets, and we have obviously have a module within SalesBuildr that takes care of that automatically. So that's pretty exciting. There's loads more. We're just in the process of publishing all the videos from DattoCon. So as I say, get subscribed and you'll be notified of those as well as when we go live. Ryan, I'll hand over to you. A couple of new bits to talk about, I think, on your side as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think you're selling yourself a little bit short there, saying that you're just the monkey with the mic. I think that's downplaying yourself a little bit. There's been some really good interviews and content recently, and if people are looking to find those, there's two areas they can find them. It's like you said, on the YouTube channel, and as well we post them on SalesBuildr.com under resources. People can find SalesBuildr TV, as we've branded it. So that's an area for all the latest interviews, podcasts, behind the scenes chats, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it can be found on SalesBuildr.com under resources. SBTV for short.
There you go.
So we love an abbreviation in this space.
That's just, we certainly do, yeah. Can't be an acronym. And so we're still building this up, but you can see all the content going in there. You're busy making sure that's got everything in there. And you've got some other stuff going on the website, haven't you? There's some other.
Yes, we've also got an event space. So that's under team and events. And it's pretty much what it says on the tin. That's all upcoming online and in-person events. That list is going to grow quite large in the next few days once we give the virtual handshake to a few events that we're speaking to at the minute. So yeah, really exciting. I can say more next week, I think. But yeah, that's the latest on the SalesBuildr website for people to check out.
Brilliant. That's great. And we'll get all the obviously in the virtual sessions up there as well. So that's really good to have one place to go for, like, where can we find the SalesBuildr guys if you're looking to see us or indeed avoid us. So I think we'll go into the live demo then, Victor. I think so. Obviously, we actually promoted this session as being a kind of a post DattoCon sort of wash up. So a little chatter about DattoCon, but also if you've kind of gone past the stand, had a brief chat with us on the move, or just kind of caught your eye, then this is an opportunity to have a bit more of a detailed demo. So Victor's going to run through sort of what the product is and how it works, give you a look at it. And Victor, I'll hand over to you. You're sharing your screen, which is great. So I'll get rid of us.
There we go.
Okay,
so yeah,
take it away.
So today, earlier I talked about those three pillars, right? Where you, if I'm a salesperson and I start my day, there's three things I want to focus on, right? So the first one is going to be marketing, and that's not marketing per se for getting new business, but it's also marketing within my customer base, where we talk about okay, what high-performing services do I have that I want to sell to customers, existing customers with an existing relationship that do not have that service yet, right? And in order to do that, we can use that white space we talked about. So I'm going to jump into that right now. And here is that white space. So this is sample data, obviously, but what this does, it gives you an overview of all your categories with your services, and it shows you where you sold what, right? So Able Manufacturing does have the Microsoft 365 solutions, but they do not have hardware as a service, for example. So if I know Able Manufacturing, and I know they were interested in renewing they're doing a hardware refresh, and they have some cash flow challenges, and I might want to sell them hardware as a service as opposed to doing like one big buy now proposal. And here, what you can do is there's two ways of filtering, and this is coming in a new release. Normally, you can say, okay, show me all the customers that have Microsoft 365. But we now also can do the reverse. Show me all customers that do not have Microsoft 365. So you can do it both ways. Show me everything who has services within this category, or show me all the customers that do not have any monitoring solutions. And the other thing we can do here is slicing and dicing to say, I want to sell SaaS protection to customers who have Microsoft 365, right? And here you can see, well, I got customers who already have SaaS protection because I can open it up. And here I can see SaaS protection. Let me do SaaS. What else do we have? SaaS defense. That's already sold too. And what it does, if you remove this, so it will show you, okay, green is already has this. Yellow is already has an open opportunity for SaaS defense, and blue is does not yet have the service and does not yet have an opportunity. So I can now go ahead here, right, and spot that opportunity. I can either directly create a proposal for SaaS defense for that specific customer, or I can say, look, this customer, I'm going to open that customer. I'm going to go into that specific contact, and I'm going to now send them an email. This is not on this is on SaaS protection, and this email contains a marketing campaign or a marketing text saying to the customer, look, you do not yet have SaaS protection, but we think it's a great fit. So let me explain to you why we think this is a great fit. And instead of sending them a proposal, you first send them a message about why they should look into this. And this is how you can develop that opportunity, right? And the next thing you can then do, if you did that, and they reply to that message saying, I actually think that's a great idea, that's when you open up and say, okay, now I have an opportunity for that customer, and I'm going to create a proposal for that specific service and an opportunity, and send them over that proposal. So this is a great way of highlighting how you can quickly focus all of your attention and energy on the right opportunities. Because what you want to do here is you want to focus on those customers that have room to sell into based on your high performing or essential services. And this dashboard gives you both the insights and also gives you the workflows to take action on those insights. Going back to this, so that's this piece here where you go and do business development within your existing customer base based on templates for email campaigns for raising awareness about your essential services. Now that's one workflow you can do on a daily basis, going through all those tiles, seeing where you need to start some conversations based on good content. And another thing you want to do is check and progress the opportunities that are already in your pipeline, right? So these can be complex opportunities, but because we want to highlight the quote to ticket workflow, right? What we want to do is open up an opportunity. Here's one. I already created a quote just now. I'm going to create a new quote, and there we go, right? And this creates an opportunity in the backend based on rules, so that's already in place. And what I want to do here is say, well, look, just for the demo, I'm going to add a headset, but this can be a proposal with hardware, software, services, and labor. I can now send the proposal to my customer using one of my existing outgoing email templates. So you can create multiple versions with a starting point that you can adjust as you go. Send this to the customer. There we go. I'm going to do mark as sent. Guess I picked the wrong demo customer. Pick another one. Example quote. There we go. Do the headset. Create a proposal. There it is. I'm going to mark this as sent. And I'm going to now approve on behalf of. So as if the customer has approved the quote. There we go. We now have an approved quote. And now when you sold something, you want to now create that post-sale ticket. So in the background, what we have here is the template for creating that ticket. So what we added in this new release that's coming Monday, based on customer feedback, because that's how we like to build, is we added a issue type and sub-issue type presetting. We added the default estimated hours and a number of days to the day for the due date, because those are the things that you need to add if you create a ticket. So if I now go to the settings and I say create ticket, this will now prompt me to say, hey, I'm going to add the Jabra headset as a charge to that ticket. The estimated hours are 4. The due date is today plus 5 days. This is the billing code that's default. Do you want to change it? And then it will add the internal ticket node. And what that does, it will add the manufacturer part number from the quote, the cost for that product, and the distributor that we selected in the proposal. Just as an FYI for the next person in the process that needs to do procurement. Now, when I submit this, SalesBuildr will create that ticket in Autotask, and it will attach it to the quote. So here we go. And there's my ticket with all the fields filled in, the correct issue type, sub-issue type, source, estimated hours, and due date. And it added that headset as a charge, and it added that note where we can find the part number, distributor, and the cost price. I can see a question coming in from Mike in the email snippet used for marketing. Can we add products or service widgets to that email? Not today, but that's a great idea.
It's a good suggestion, that one.
Yeah. And the way that would work is maybe add some product information or service information to that email as an attachment. That could be a thing. That's a great shot. We can add that to the backlog for sure. We
do have an ideas board, don't we? So if you've got any suggestions, anything you'd like to see, you can get it on there. People can vote for it, or we can accelerate it. Everything is amazing.
Yeah, that's actually this URL. And I'm going to post it as a comment to make it frictionless. So back to the quote, right? So now we have this this ticket. So that's all done and prepped to go for the post-sale workflow, where stuff needs to be procured, stuff needs to be configured, installed, and shipped, and ticked off. If you go to the quote overview, you can now also see that post-sale ticket under the proposal, and you can also open it up from here. So you can visually quickly identify which approved proposals have had tickets with charges created from SalesBuildr, and open it from here just for quick and easy access. So that's basically this workflow, right? You create or you progress your existing opportunities with the templates and the workflow and the post-sale ticket workflow. And then the other pillar is retain, grow, and renew, which is having conversations with your customers about what's important to them, how to get them to become an ambassador for your brand and organization. And if a contract is up for renewal, that's where you want to act. You want to act sooner than later. So you don't want to prompt them saying, hey, end of this week, the contract is about to expire. What are we going to do? You want to do it 3 months in advance, depending on the kind of contract. And again, that's where you can leverage the white space, because in the white space, you can say, show me all the contracts ending I'm going to do this year. And it will show you the contracts that will end this year. So this is one example. You open it up and it will show you there's a contract up for renewal December 31st. And it has a lot of services in there. And from here, I can say, create a renewal proposal. Right, there's something in there that won't do it. We pick another one. Create a renewal proposal. This is one service, so it shows you the service it will add based on the existing contract. 10 seats of SaaS management. And if I click create, it will pick that template. So you can create a template specifically for service renewals. And it will add the existing services on your contract to that proposal. And you're good to go. And you might want to change that proposal to say, well, you know, today you have server monitoring, but we think it's a good idea to also do some managed services, and add that to the proposal. And then you can build that proposal to make it more aligned with what they need today or for the next contract period.
That's a good point to add. If you've got like a conversation to be had around adding services or anything, it's a good point to add perhaps like a video explainer or something. You can just drop that in, can't you?
Yeah.
Basically talking through, this is following our chat, this is what we recommend, and this is why we put that on the quote.
Exactly. And yeah, you can drop them in from here, do a video section, and then embedding a video, pasting a YouTube or a Loom or a Vimeo video, and it will add it to the proposal. Can I just maybe I can just pick one, share, copy, do it live. There you go. There's a video in the proposal. And that's the way how you can quickly go from a about to expire contract, inspect it, create a renewal based on a template, amend it, change it, do the upsell and the cross-sell. Make sure you get a proper introduction on why you're sending this renewal proposal, and then you send it out to your customer. So those are the 3 pillars I think you have to do, like on a daily or weekly basis. Go through your patch of customers, making them aware of the new things that are relevant to them using the white space editor to carve out the segment that can actually use this service, instead of doing an email campaign and saying, hey, we got Copilot, and sending it to all of your customers, while some of them may not have a need for this at all. So you want to slice and dice it and segment it, that you can only send it to the customers where it's relevant for. And you can do that with SalesBuildr. That will follow that up to generate the opportunities, and then do the whole sales cycle and opportunities within SalesBuildr, create a proposal based on your templates. And then once that's in place and you converted the customer, then you go into retain, grow, and renew. Sell them more services, get a better relationship, and be proactive in creating that opportunity before an existing contract is about to expire.
Out of interest, Victor, when you're talking about sending those, if I'll bring Ryan in as well, because it's a kind of marketing topic, the emails you're sending out. So if you're going to send out a notification that, hey, we've got this and we think it might be suitable for X reason, would you send out multiple emails potentially, or follow-ups, or what do you see people doing within the software at the moment?
I would say that depends on the context, what you're selling and what you're emailing to. You can multiple. There's no sequencing yet in SalesBuildr. That is something we will add in the future. So now it's single campaigns, but I think it's different than a normal marketing campaign, where you get an email from company X to tell you about the new solutions, which is quite impersonal. With this, it sends it from the account manager that has an existing relationship with that person at the customer. So it's a one-to-one email based on a best practice template.
Yeah, the more you can segment
stuff. Yes. So it's much more personalized. And thus, the opens and the click-through and the reply rate is going to be better than you sending like a blanket email to your whole database.
Yeah, definitely. And as always, and I'm always banging the video drum, but that, again, that's a great opportunity to put in a loom or something, as well as a couple of bullet points as to what you're talking about, and you've got options there. So sort of make sure you're as personal as possible. I think that's the key, isn't it?
I think so.
From a marketing
when you're selling to existing customers. Yeah,
there's always the export as well for that cross-selling from the white space module. You can export the contacts from that filter for more in-personal marketing campaigns, such as driving awareness for specific products and services. And then the email through function in SalesBuildr is a lot more of an account manager / sales task, rather than a typical marketing style email. So you can export, put it into your HubSpot, MailChimp, whatever it is you're using, and start building the awareness that way. So it's a two-pronged, there's two ways to do it.
That's really powerful, isn't it? And you think of how we use LinkedIn ads as well. I mean, if you, depending on what you're selling, if you were really going down that route and you wanted to do like a campaign over a period of time, you can build a LinkedIn audience with that export. Yeah, with that exported data.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, excellent. That was really good. I've not seen that approach, Victor. That was really good. The sort of the way it stays through, I think it makes a lot of sense. So I look forward to using that myself. What's the so in terms of running through it, sort of just some of the key features? So someone who's totally fresh to this, do you want to have a bit of an overview for people? By the way, get your questions in if you want to know. If you want us to dive into any particular area, obviously we can take this wherever you like. But I'd like it to be something that just I'd like to make sure you at least leave with the basics and you understand quite where SalesBuildr can help your MSP.
Yeah, so in terms of the basics, and make my screen a bit bigger. What SalesBuildr does, it connects with your PSA. It then synchronizes your companies and your contacts. It synchronizes your opportunities. It synchronizes the things that you sell. So that's in our audience, that's always a combination of hardware, software, services, and labor, right? And you organize that within your portfolio, and then you set rules for the categories where you organize the stuff in. Rules for markup, rules for adding shipping, customer-specific pricing, the mandatory up and cross-sell, or the optional up and cross-sell items, add-ons. You can create bundles from any item in your portfolio. So if you don't want to sell how you buy, but you want to simplify it for your customer, it makes sense to roll up all those different third-party vendor solutions that you have to buy, SaaS protection, antivirus, Defender, all that stuff that you want to roll into a managed services package. You roll it up into a single line item in the proposal, so your customer understands what they're getting, because you create your custom service description and you say, hey, look, we're selling you this service, and the outcome is that your employees can now work more efficient, more effective, and more secure, right? And we do it all for you, instead of selling them all these technical line items which they don't understand and which you now have to explain on a customer conversation. It's better to sell those customer outcomes. So some things are better to sell in a bundle that's explained by talking about the customer outcomes. And that's what you do here in your portfolio, along with your template library. So the template library, this is where all your sales templates live, and this is where all your building blocks live. That describes your products descriptions, your service and solutions descriptions, your customer testimonials, your About Us section, your videos, and all the stuff that you want to reuse in all the quotes and proposals that you send on a regular basis. And you manage it centrally, and you also link your items from your portfolio to those templates and building blocks, which prevents you from having to add them manually each time you make a proposal. Then there's the compliance inside SalesBuildr. So the compliance makes sure that you can set conditions to check each proposal that's being sent to the customer. When it hits those conditions, it will request manager approval. So if it's a very big order amount, if the discount is a bit too steep, sometimes you have a new employee that's still learning on a learning curve, and maybe you want to check every proposal for the first 3 months just to make sure that they're doing a proper job. That's the compliance. And then the proposals are sent to the customer. Customer can scroll through the proposal. They can e-sign, and that shoots everything back to your backend system. So we create the opportunity, we link the quote, we add in all the relevant fields, all the relevant details, and all the items that were on the proposal, and make sure you can do the next step after that sales approval. Then optionally, we have a storefronts option where you can say, well, some customers have requested that they can just place orders for the stuff that they buy on a regular basis. And we have said, we have configured a couple of workplaces, standard, advanced, and premium. We're going to add these to their catalog, and they can use an Amazon-like experience to place an order and check out, and without having the need for sales intervention, because these products and services are standardized. It saves time for your customer, and it saves time for your internal sales team, and it makes sure that everything is automatically added to your backend system for further processing.
That ties really nicely into the question, actually, Victor. So can you make customer-specific bundles? So specific keyboard, display, etc.?
Yes, you can, because you can offer a product for one or more customers specifically. Yes. So you can make customer-specific bundles, products, but also add-ons and pricing, and also customer-specific workflows. For example, if you have agreed that your default contact person at your customer can place orders up to an amount of 2,000, but now they place an order of 3,000, then you can route it to the management team of your customer and they will have to approve that specific proposal because it hits the condition that you set. So you have internal compliance rules that you can set, and you have external compliance rules that you can set.
So you can really take control of what you're selling there. And that's both there and also on the storefront. So you can literally create a specific storefront with all those same conditions met, only the products that you want to show to that particular customer, the add-ons and so on. That's essentially exposing what the sales guys see to the storefront side.
Yeah.
Another question, actually, Victor, before we carry on. So what do you prefer as a good add-on for doing the stock management, delivery slips, and so on? So post-sales procurement process. Guess we're talking PSA there.
Let me see if I understand the question. What do you prefer as a good add-on for doing the stock management, delivery slips, etc.? The way I read that question is like maybe a service fee that you add on top of a proposal for taking care of all that stuff for the customer. You could create a product with a handling fee or a processing fee, or you can tuck that into your shipping fee that you automatically add to the proposal. That would be my idea for if you want to charge for all those handling and processing fees and adding that to the proposal.
Good stuff.
If I understand it correctly.
Yeah, that's good. I think you're probably taking it the right way. Bibawa, let us know if you want to clarify that. Come back if that answered your question. Let us know. If not, feel free to clarify it and drop another one in. Victor, I'll let you carry on.
Well, so what's also interesting to note is that a portfolio of services is connected to your distributors, right? So the distributors that you work with typically to procure your hardware, you can connect them to SalesBuildr. So you can send out an email or fill in a form, tell them you want to work with SalesBuildr, and you will get a username and password, which you can enter in the admin of SalesBuildr. And as soon as you do that, all the items in your portfolio that have a part number will be enriched. We use two systems for that. So we use a platform called iSCAT to pull in images, rich descriptions, and the specifications automatically. And then we connect to the distributors that you have configured inside SalesBuildr, and we will pull in the pricing and availability. And it's not the list pricing, but it's your pricing, right? So if I go into the system, and let me pick this one, and I go into products, and now I'm going to filter for the type product, non-recurring, in stock with distributors. Now here you can see some of the products in your catalog, like the hardware, right? They have a manufacturer part number, and you can already see here the stock, the external stock at your distributors. Now the prices, like everything in SalesBuildr, has its own page. And SalesBuildr pulls in those images, the sales copy. This is in Dutch, but you can set the language. And then sometimes if the vendor has provided that, it will also show you recommended products. So the things that you can sell with this specific product. And you can import that into your catalog. It shows you all the distributors that sell this, stock level, your cost price. And it also shows you the add-ons that you configured. So through the category, you can say, every Apple MacBook I sell, I want to suggest an additional keyboard and a mouse. And it will, if you add it to the proposal, it will also always add these as optional. Another cool thing here is that after doing manual pricing, SalesBuildr makes the pricing dynamic, right? So here for those Apple, it's low margin, so I added 5% markup on top of my cost price. And that will automatically calculate the sales price. And you can also round up that sales price to a nice number. Instead of having it like 0.97. And here you can see all the connected distributors that actually have this specific part number in stock or not in stock or in the catalog. And you can see if it's available. You can see your cost price. And you can let SalesBuildr pick the best deal based on lowest price and availability. Or you can say, well, look, I prefer Ingram Micro, but when the price is more than 5% better at TD SYNNEX, switch to TD SYNNEX. So you can automatically do those pick the best deal for me conditions. And that's the distributors and how the distributors are connected to your portfolio. Another cool thing to note is when you have to sell something that's not in your portfolio. So this is your portfolio. That means you're the curator of everything that you sell: hardware, software, services, and labor. So this does not show all the products from all the connected distributors, but you can access them here on the marketplace.
Victor, that's something that came up actually at the show, isn't it? A couple of people mentioned this, that it was sometimes overwhelming to bring in all the products from a distributor, and actually the ability to whittle it down to. I realize what you're showing here is everything, but to be able to whittle it down for the sales teams, they don't have to wade through all those products. That was quite a powerful thing that came up a couple of times in conversations.
Yes, but there's flexibility here, and that's the main point, right? So you can either say, now I'm going to just search for products, right? So I want to sell a ProBook with a i5 processor, and show me what's available. And it drills down hundreds of thousands of products to the 31 that are relevant based on your search for ProBook with an i5 processor, right? And you can also do 65 gigabyte. You can make it very specific based on I'm looking for i5 256 RAM, and it shows you the results. So you can drill down and it's super fast as opposed to some other search methods where you have to wait. This is very fast. The other thing you can do too, which is interesting for some customers, is say, well, look, we like to sell Lenovo laptops, right? And what you can do here is say, okay, Ingram Micro, show me the category, where is it? Computers. And then you go notebooks. And then you can do Lenovo. And then you can say display all available. And this shows you all the notebooks that Ingram has in its catalog. And if you want to just give all the customer, if you want to add them all into your portfolio, you can now see, you can import all results. In this case, it's too many. Let's do HP. Import these, and then you can appoint to a specific category. Click on confirm, and this will set a workflow rule that automatically adds all the HP laptops that Ingram has in its portfolio to your own portfolio, and it will add new items as they get added to their catalog, which saves you the time of making what's new and how to make sure I got the new stuff. You can automate that. And the other thing we say, well, okay, how do we make sure that the stuff that is removed from the Ingram Micro catalog also gets removed from SalesBuildr, because that's a follow-up question normally. And for that, we have a filter called not found. And not found is the way that SalesBuildr flags the items that we can't find anymore at any of your connected distributors. So they are pulled from those catalogs. So we flag them as not found. And you can now do bulk edit and unlist those, which also sets them to inactive in your PSA. And if I now click save, they're gone. They're not gone. They're inactive, deactivated, but you can't add them to the proposal anymore. So the scenario where you sell something that you can't deliver, you prevented that scenario.
Yeah, it's not all about improving efficiencies, is it? It's also about making sure that you kind of win the business through being efficient and trying to reduce the opportunity there for human error.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
very good.
It's cascading effects. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. So that's really that's kind of the ethos behind everything we're doing. Really, is to get rid of not just the grind and the inefficiency of doing things manually, but also the potential for things to go wrong and cost you money and be embarrassing. We've got a question come in. With 100 being the maximum import number, is there a way to further filter to get the number to under 100?
Should we try?
Thank you, Michael. Good question.
So TDC next. Pick another one. Do computers. Do notebooks. Let me see. Lenovo 149. Well, maybe if I do T16, right? And then you could say import all results. So now it will look for those results that have T16 in the description, in the name. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
So you can make it more specific by looking at a specific string or saying, I want the 16 gigabyte models. Or saying, I want the T14 models. So now you can get very specific. And then you want to say, okay, Lenovo, put them in there. Boom.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very slick. All right. Okay. Well, I'm conscious of time. We're approaching, we're nearly on the hour. So if you've got any other questions, get them in now. Feel free to. Obviously, if you'd like to arrange your own demo, you're more than welcome to, but that's not what this is about. If you'd like to know more about any particular area, just give us a shout. I will wait a second for some questions to come in. And I'll tell you what, we can take those anyway. As we go through, Victor, I'm gonna, if you don't mind, unless you had anything you wanted to add, I'm gonna.
No, I'm looking at the beautiful Lenovo ThinkPad T14 that are now in the storefront.
Oh, okay. You're in the market now, are you?
Yeah, we can sell them now.
Not that easy?
But only those T14s. Yeah,
that's it. Just that one. All right. So let's move into so what's on at the event. So we always try and do this if we can, just shine a quick light on what's happening in terms of events coming up globally. Okay, and as you can see, so there's a lot happening in the next month or so. I won't go through every single one of them, but just to let you know, we will be at the CompTIA Spotlight Awards next week. So that's Wednesday, and we're actually up for Innovative Vendor Awards. So we're really excited about that one. Hopefully, this time next week when we're on the live stream, we'll be holding some silverware or a nice certificate or something along those lines. We'll have to see, but we're very pleased just to be nominated. And of course, as you can see, there's lots going on. The ASCII group have got something happening around at the same time in Chicago. Managed Services Summit is always going to be of interest. I think with a large Benelux audience, it's quite possible that one will cease. There'll be some of you there, I'm sure. And as you can see, moving through, we've got Cybersecurity Expo in Manchester as well. So as always, lots happening. We've got a final segment. So this one is, we're going to call this Tune of the Week. So the idea of these sessions is that you get to know us a little bit better. So each week, both us and potentially any guests that we have on are going to nominate their Tune of the Week. So I'm going first. I'm going to take this one on the chin. So welcome to the Tune of the Week segment. Yeah, no expense spared on the animations and graphics, as you can tell. So this one, as you may have, I don't know if you can see back there, in my misspent youth, I did a bit of DJ and I still kind of do. And this was my first tune from 1992, Rachel Wallace, that I had on vinyl that I played out in it was a grotty pub actually with about 6 people. Eventually got to a bigger crowd, but anyway, this is one of my favourites. So I'm going to leave this playing just for a second. A nice middle of the road number. Yeah, gives me that Friday feeling already.
It sounds like a while ago too.
92.
Again.
All right, so I can leave that on in the background while we're waiting for some comments. Let's see who we've got in the chat. Okay, so that's us answering back. So anyone wants to get any questions in, feel free to. So I guess this is what you call kind of a warehouse music, as it was.
I'm going to say, what genre would this be, James? Would it be acid house? Would it be?
Yeah, it's old school. It's old school rave, really, I suppose. So 92. It was definitely just after that kind of acid house, 88 to 90, I suppose.
Yeah, a little bit before
I love this one.
time, I'm afraid.
Never fails to get me going. I know, it must make me feel pretty old. Anyway, right, that's it. That's my tune of the week. Hope you enjoyed that one. Next week, I think we'll probably go with, actually, next week when you tune in, we've got a special guest. So Alan from Eureka Process. So Alan is, he wears many hats, but he does so IT consultancy and building sort of leadership teams within MSPs to gear them for growth. And you can pretty much ask him more or less anything. So I'm going to get him on for a short stint next week, and then we'll do a longer one, a separate webinar, because honestly, giving him a short stint on one of these just isn't really enough. So we're just going to let him come on. You can ask a few questions. We'll let you know what the major session is going to be about. And yeah, I think he's going to be a great addition. So I'm going to make Alan choose the tune next week. I was going to put it on one of these guys. And of course, we'll have Bram's top tips from the front line. That'll be back. So Bram, customer success, always brings some gold from his conversations throughout the week. And he's had a couple of weeks off. So he's going to be armed with plenty of tips to share with you. And I think that's it. Unless anyone's got any other questions, I think we can wrap it up there for the week. Nearly on time as well. Thank you, Victor, for doing all the presenting, all the heavy lifting today. And Ryan, for sharing the updates. Plenty happening.
Always welcome. Thanks, James.
Thanks, James, for the great presentation again.
Apart from the mute, it was nearly working, and it was nearly seamless until the microphone muting issue. But next week it'll be perfect. All right, listen, thank you so much for giving us some time out of your day. I know this is it's always important for you guys to spend this time building your business, and hopefully you got plenty of value out of this. We'll see you next week. Thanks again.
Bye all.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.